Today, I've got something unique to show you. I've borrowed it from a friend and I am going to be putting it through its paces. I'm Chris, and this is the Turing Robotic Industries Turing Phone, Dark Wyvern Edition. I hope I pronounced that right. Wyvern. The Turing Phone is an interesting piece of kit. This 2016 smartphone is known for its striking design, supposed focus on security, privacy, its Kickstarter-based history, and that it runs Jala's Sailfish OS as its primary operating system. I do remember seeing a headline about the Turing phone when the switch from Android to Sailfish was made, but it otherwise flew under my radar until last Friday night when an odd hexagonal box on my friend's desk caught my eye. Let's start with the nitty-gritty details. The Turing phone is a sizable smartphone made of, quote, liquid morphium, which is a metal alloy that's supposed to be nigh unbendable as well as very strong and durable. I won't be testing that. The dragon scale design on the back feels like plastic, so I don't think this is a sheathed in metal all around, but it still offers a striking design that sets apart from just about everything else. Since this is the Dark W edition, feel free to correct me in the comments on pronunciation. This model is black with gold trim, which I find very handsome. If Adam Jensen or David Serif had a smartphone, this is it. The front display is a 5.5-inch Full HD or 1080p LCD display protected by Gorilla Glass 4. For processing power, we have what's most likely a Qualcomm Snapdragon 801, so kind of old, flanked with 3GB of RAM here. Possibly an 820, but that's not likely with this specific unit. For storage, we have 128GB of internal memory on board with a slot for a micro SD card. The SIM is also micro SIM, which I find odd for a high-end phone today, but nothing an adapter can't fix. On the back is a 13-megapixel snapper with a two-tone dual LED flash, and on front is an 8-megapixel camera, which certainly outpaces my Priv in quality, but then again, that isn't a very high bar. Powering it all is a 3000 mAh battery. I don't have a solid reading on it yet, but usage so far isn't making me optimistic. More on that eventually. For I/O, the Turing phone has the proprietary Wallaby MagStream connector on the bottom. I know it says MagSafe on the paper, but it's the MagStream. That's it. No headphone jack, no micro USB, no USB-C, no parallel, no infrared. You're not going to find Palm's Athena connector here. Nothing, just that connector. It's nifty and cool, but it isn't very compatible, and by the looks of things so far, if you lose or break the two included in the box, good luck securing a replacement. And don't get me started on spare parts or repairability. Just look at those screws. Which do look cool though, granted. What it does have though, is a logo that looks awfully like the Destiny logo for you gamers out there. I can certainly see someone drawing a parallel to Destiny's state at launch. And I hope TRI improves their offerings similarly. As this is just the first look at the Turing phone, I'll be putting this through its paces when I can, and we'll put together more soon, and that's soon, with a trademark symbol next to it. Like a Microsoft soon. I'm debating a full video or two, like with the Trio, or just a write-up as I did with my Priv. More on that eventually. Soon, TM. As for software, there was a ridiculous amount to go over as this is a completely different OS that isn't very well known, so I will be discussing Sailfish OS 2 in either another video or in a write-up. See the pattern? But here's a quick taste to give you a feel of it on the Turing phone so far. Sailfish OS is a heavily gesture-based mobile OS that is developed by Jala. In a nutshell, it is gorgeous, has a steep learning curve due to its gestures, not unlike BlackBerry 10 or WebOS, and it actually takes gestures a step further than in those two OSs. It has a fluid workflow, which I like. It has some tricks of its own up its sleeve, and some interesting UI elements, but it's got a lot missing. From an OS standpoint, it's mostly there, I feel, like how Windows Phone 8 was mostly there in comparison to its competitors. back in its day. And from an app standpoint, it's poor. There are some native applications, but the Windows Store looks like the pinnacle of abundance in comparison. However, Sailfish OS can run Android applications like BlackBerry 10. Well, it has some of the same shortcomings 10 has, in particular, the lack of Google Play services. But it does work, however, and that will be an interesting thing to play with going forward. Also worth noting is that it has Turing's UI, but the difference between it and stock Sailfish is not something I'm properly informed about yet, but do keep that in mind with my impression here. And there we have it, just a quick first look at the Turing phone. More on that probably soon, depending on how productive I am. Soon, TM. If you're curious about what came in the box, the Turing phone, 2 USB cables, both of which actually have a small little LED in the MagStream's end, not unlike a MacBook charger that lights up when the Turing phone is getting power. And also included is a USB wall adapter, a typical SIM tray opening tool, and some documentation.